We live on a planet that feels enormous. Mountains stretch for miles, oceans seem endless, the sky feels infinite. From the ground, Earth feels huge. But today, we're going to zoom out. Not just a little, but all the way out. And to truly understand how small Earth is, we're not going to use complicated numbers or scientific jargon. Instead, we'll use comparisons you can actually feel. Because once you see the universe this way, Earth will never feel big again. Let's begin with a simple rule. Imagine Earth is the size of a human being, about 1.8 meters tall, roughly 6 feet. Earth is you. Every mountain, every ocean, every city, all scaled down to the size of a person. This is our reference point. Now let's see what happens when we place Earth next to everything else in space. First, the Moon. The Moon looks large in our sky, but in reality it's much smaller than Earth. If Earth is a human standing upright, the Moon would be about the height of a toddler, barely reaching your waist. You could pick it up, carry it, hold it in your arms. That's the Moon. Now Mars. Mars is often called Earth's twin, but it's not really a twin at all. If Earth is you, Mars would be about chest height. Smaller, colder, still a planet, but noticeably less imposing. Even here, close to home, Earth isn't surrounded by equals. But now, things start to change. Let's move outward, to the gas giants. Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and the difference in size is extreme. If Earth is a 6-foot human, Jupiter would be taller than a 2-story house. You wouldn't look Jupiter in the eye, you'd tilt your head back and keep tilting. Over 1,000 Earths could fit inside Jupiter. It's not just bigger, it's overwhelmingly bigger. Now imagine standing next to it. Earth, a single person. Jupiter, a towering giant that blocks out the sky. And yet, Jupiter is not even the biggest shock. Because next comes Saturn. Saturn is slightly smaller than Jupiter, but still enormous. If Earth is a human, Saturn would be about the height of a large building. And those rings? They would stretch far beyond your field of view. You could stand beneath them and never see where they end. Earth next to Saturn wouldn't feel like a planet anymore. It would feel like an afterthought. Now let's talk about Uranus and Neptune. These planets are smaller than Jupiter and Saturn, but still massive compared to Earth. If Earth is a person, Uranus and Neptune would be like towering industrial structures, cold, silent, and completely indifferent to your existence. At this scale, Earth already feels fragile, but we're still inside our solar system, and we haven't even touched the most important object yet, the Sun. Everything we've discussed so far, every planet, revolves around it. Now imagine the Sun at our human scale. If Earth is a 6-foot person, the Sun would be nearly 200 meters tall. That's taller than many skyscrapers. You wouldn't be able to see the top. You wouldn't be able to feel its edges. And Earth? Earth would be smaller than a grain of sand at its base. One tiny speck. That's the star that keeps us alive. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The Sun is not big. Compared to other stars, the Sun is average, maybe even small. Some stars are hundreds of times larger than the Sun. Others are so massive that, if placed at the center of our solar system, they would swallow the orbits of multiple planets. If Earth is a human, these stars wouldn't be buildings. They wouldn't be mountains. They would be entire landscapes. You wouldn't stand next to them. You'd exist somewhere inside their shadow and still never see the end. And yet, even stars are not the end of the story. Because stars gather together, into galaxies. We live inside one called the Milky Way. The Milky Way contains hundreds of billions of stars, each one potentially surrounded by planets. If Earth was still the size of a human, the Milky Way would stretch across tens of thousands of kilometers. Larger than countries, larger than continents. Earth wouldn't even register. not as a dot, not as a pixel. It would be lost completely. And our galaxy? It's only one of many. There are trillions of galaxies in the observable universe, each filled with stars, each filled with planets, each vast beyond comprehension. Now imagine scaling the entire observable universe using the same rule. Earth is still a human. The observable universe would be so large that distance itself becomes meaningless. You could travel at the speed of light, the fastest speed possible, and still never reach the edge. Earth at this scale isn't small. It's irrelevant. Not because it lacks value, but because the universe is incomprehensibly large. And yet, here's the part that matters. Everything we've talked about, every planet, every star, every galaxy, is empty, cold, silent, lifeless. Earth isn't important because it's big. Earth is important because it's alive.